When people come in, we notice that most restaurants, they're not very helpful. Most places don't want to help. They're just doing their job and they're getting it done. And what we realize is that we're probably overly helpful. So if you come in and you can't eat something, I'll come and sit with you at the table and I'll be like, listen, Vin, what's going on? I want to help you. What can we make you? And I'll make you something just for you. So that's what's very unique and different about the restaurant.
Jackie, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Jackie from Tula Kitchen. Appreciate you coming on to Staying Hungry. We'll have some fun this afternoon and
Awesome.
get to learn more about yourself and the brand. And we were introduced by Martin Butera.
Yeah.
So shout out to Martin.
We love us some Martin.
Remind me, how do you guys know each other, or did you work together at some point?
We did actually, probably about, it has to be maybe 28 years ago. We were talking the other day, we were trying to figure it out. It's probably about 28, 27 years ago. I worked for him at one of his first locations.
Okay.
I was a waitress. And we instantly just became really close and really good friends. And we've stayed, connected throughout the years. So.
And your restaurant basically sits back to back with
We're like brother, sister.
Bayshore,
Yeah,
right?
We're like right there.
Got it. Right.
Yeah.
The other day when I came to see you, I walked right past the Butera's. So, and you left Butera's and went straight to Tula Kitchen?
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
Why don't you give us a little bit of backdrop of how you got into the food space and kind of what brought you up to today?
Well, it's an interesting story. So my mom is really, really a cool lady. When my dad was alive, he was going through a lot of stuff, health reasons and things like that. And my mom kept him going for a long time. We found out he had cancer and Hodgkin's lymphoma, all this stuff.
Sorry to hear that.
And he was young too. So we were little kids, my sister and I. And my mom didn't really want him to, go the traditional way, Western medicine. So she was like, that's it. We're doing all natural. And she took him off of the chemo and the radiation and everything. And he lived for 17 years. So the doctors only gave him 6 months. So that was like really crazy, inspirational. So I grew up in that kind of a way where everything was just naturally based. Like even our cereals, like we used to go to our friend's house to have like bad cereal, like Captain Crunch, because my mother was like, no. So growing up
I still do
was,
that, but
yeah, exactly. You can come over my house, I'll get it for you.
Got it.
But yeah, it was a really interesting way of growing up and seeing my dad, thrive and do what he did. And yeah, he lived for 17 years like that. So that's kind of what got me into natural cooking and healing through food and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot behind it.
Wow, very cool. And are you an educated, trained chef, or it's all?
No. I did go to a program in Manhattan. There's a school. It's actually still there, but it was taken over by another company. And I moved into the city for a quick stint, and I went to a program. It was like a 9-month health and healing program with foods. It was all vegetarian, and it was the only vegetarian cooking school in like anywhere in New York, I know for sure. So I did that program, but I had been a vegetarian since I'm 4. So I really grew up in that mindset, and I knew that I could heal people through food. That was really, really an important factor when it came to the restaurant. The restaurant really, for me, was so important because I love the whole business of it. I get really excited about like looking at forks, and that's not normal when you talk to people, I think. But for me, it was really, really exciting. So I incorporated my excitement of design and my excitement with cooking and healing people, and I kind of just lumped it all together, and that's how Tula kind of came to fruition.
Tell the listeners, Tula, what's the meaning behind it?
Tula's kind of cool. So when I was growing up, one of the most important things to me was about having balance in my life. And I think for most people, having balance is really important, because we're always looking to get that, and we just don't know how. So when I was coming up with a name for the restaurant, I had asked my family to help me. I was like, all right, guys, come on. Let's come up with a cool name and all this stuff. And they were just horrible. Their names were probably ridiculous. So I'm not even going to tell you, they were so bad. So I went home that night and I started typing in balance in different languages. And Tula came up. And I was like, oh, wow. And it's actually a Sanskrit language, which is Hindu. And it means balance. So I said, that's everything. And then the kitchen came because that's like the heart of your home. You know, everybody's always in the kitchen. Everybody's hanging out. Everybody always wants to be a part of it. So it just matched really nicely for me. So Tula Kitchen was then born.
Did people think that there was like an actual Tula? Like
that's me. Every day, Tula. I'm like, hey. It's still 20 years later.
Call me whatever
Tula.
you want. Keep coming back.
Exactly. It's good. They think I'm Greek. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
And the basis of Tula's menu, which is we have right here, is vegan, vegetarian, or does it hit on cuisines for different?
It's a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
honestly. We don't do any red meat. We don't fry anything. I really like to focus on the healing mindset and energy for people. We do a lot of vegetarian, a lot of vegan, but we do it the right way. Like, because we don't even have a fryolator in the restaurant. Like we've never had one. It's not the thing for us. So, we use natural ingredients. We spend so much extra money to get really good quality stuff in the restaurant because that's what's important to us. So, yeah, we do chicken and fish as well, some seafood, things like that. But it's really a healthier restaurant. That's kind of what it is. Oh. And it's a little different now. I mean, this is our dinner menu. We also do breakfast. We have a juice bar. So that's kind of cool. That's a different concept that we've never really done. So that's new for us.
That was an add-on to the restaurant?
Yeah, that's an interesting story too. So after COVID, prior to COVID, we were open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, catering. I mean, we were open all the time. It was just a lot going on. And when COVID hit, Lena, my business partner, we talked about it and we realized that we didn't want the energy to shift in the restaurant because that's really important to me and to her. And we stayed open during COVID. So we're not a fine dining restaurant, but we're a finer dining restaurant. It's like a casual fine combination, I guess. So we didn't do takeout. We didn't even have a way. And we, with our manager at the time, who we loved so much, we came up with this new program and we started takeout. So we did this whole thing and people were pulling up and we would run their food out and we stayed open the whole time doing that. So when we went back to open, our normal time, we noticed that help was really hard to find. People didn't want to work at that time. And we couldn't reopen for breakfast or lunch. We just couldn't find the help. So we talked about it, Lena and I, and she was like, Jack, let's just open the juice bar. Because that was one of my dreams from the beginning. This is going back 20-something years ago when I first opened the restaurant. It was supposed to be a juice bar as well, and I never did it. So we decided to take a portion of the restaurant, which was like my child. I was like crying about it for years. And we took a portion of it and we redesigned it and we turned it into a juice bar.
Got it. So when I had walked in on Friday, that space was part of the restaurant. You just carved it out because I wasn't sure if you took on additional space.
No, that was our original space actually. So that whole back section, everything, that was the original Tula. We just were open for dinner at that time.
Yeah.
And then years later, about 10 years later, we took the space next door. And then we just kind of circulated. We did breakfast, lunch, dinner. We did everything. So now the juice bar it's really nice. It's kind of cool now.
What made you kind of decide on the Bayshore area when opening the restaurant?
a good question.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, you're good. Bayshore, I went to high school in West Islip. So Bayshore was one of our stomping grounds. You know, we used to go to, like, there were clubs there and bars there growing up. But the town was really in disarray. It was in a bad space for many, many, many years. And it really deteriorated. Most of the places were boarded up, and there was a lot of bad stuff going on in the streets in the town. So when I came to the town, I was looking around for a space, and I knew one of the ladies that actually had the space that I have now. And I knew she was leaving. So I called the landlord, and I was like, I think I want your space. And we talked it through. But the feeling that I got when I walked into the restaurant, it was the right home for me. So my mother told me the story, and I do believe her. I don't know if it's all true, but I do believe her. So many, many, many years ago, going back to what I was saying before with my dad, my mom used to get this medicine brought in from Mexico. And I don't believe it was legal at that time. But to keep him alive, it was this natural, it's like an apricot pit, and it's natural, but, you know, the FDA didn't approve it back then. I think it is now, okay? So they used to get it for her. That used to be a health food store years ago, way before I took over the space. So when I walked in, I felt this intensity and this hug, and I was like, something's up with this space, but I knew I had to be there. So a couple of months later, I signed the lease. I did the whole thing. My mother comes in, and she just starts staring and looking around. And she's like, Jack, do you know where we are? And I was a baby. And I was like, I have no idea what you're even talking about. She's like, this was the place that got the medicine for Daddy. And I was like, what? So that's the story of kind of the connection. So my dad is, he's there with me, with everybody. Yeah, 100%.
Do you own that building?
No.
Still lease it from the landlord? Got
Yeah.
it. And you've been there a long time.
Well, I've had the building for 24 years, but we've been open for 20.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So you have seen Bayshore change dramatically.
Drastically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying boarded up places, and
it was.
How do you feel about that community today?
It's very
Drastic
different.
change. Yeah?
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, I loved it before. Like, I love the excitement of learning about it and creating something that had never been done before, not only in that town, but in general. Like, Tula's really different. It's not like a typical anything. So to bring it to fruition in Bayshore meant so much to me. The town itself, like, the people love each other. They're very supportive, and it's a community. It's truly a community, and we've been a part of that with everybody, the growth and everything. Now that it's so much, it's, for me, and this is my opinion only, I think it's oversaturated. It's almost too much. And it puts me in a place of, I don't know, I don't feel it inside as much as I once did. And that makes me a little sad, because before, people were so excited to come to the town, and it was so new and interesting, and they would meet new people and make new friends. And now there's a lot going on.
It's like a well-oiled machine now, right?
It is. It's a well-oiled machine. It definitely is.
It's like a business, right? Like, you were there when it was like a startup.
Right.
And it was like everyone, all hands on deck, really like digging in to help grow the community. And now it's like...
That's a really good way to put it, honestly.
It's like a corporation now.
Yeah, so your heart is still there, but now it's missing that uniqueness, and that's kind of what drove me to it to begin with. So it's just different now. I still love it. It's still my passion and my life and my baby, but it's different now.
A lot of your guests from within miles of Tula, or do they travel a bit to come?
Oh yeah, they travel.
They do, right?
We have people from the city, the Hamptons. Wow. I mean, the North Shore all the time. Obviously, they come, from our area too. Sure. But we talk to customers, like people visiting their families from California or from other parts in the world. That's their hub. They always are like, I'll meet you at Tula. So it holds a really good place for most people that come. It's really nice.
I think that's I think we were first introduced to Tula's through Wes and
Greg and
Greg,
Wes.
because they are
Celiacs?
celiac.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I think that was a spot that they like to
They
go.
feel safe,
They
yeah.
felt safe, and it was the first time we went, and I think that's you provide such a niche in the market where sometimes people say vegetarian, it's like
That's yeah.
but you go there and you're like, wait a second,
Pleasantly shocked if that's not your, let's say, primary cuisine or
Well, it's
thoughts.
funny that you say that, because when we first opened, I would say for the first year and a half, a man didn't walk in that door. Not one man. And everybody was like, what's happening here? Because men in general were like, well, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating
potatoes,
vegetarian.
right?
And yeah, I need my meat. I need my heavy, you know. And I think it took time. It took an understanding, because it was so unique then. It was very different. Like, we have quinoa now and people understand that. But back then, 20 whatever years later, people were like, what's quinoa? What's quinoa? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Or tofu. And I'm like, it's tofu. What? So, yeah, so people really, it's like it was a wave. Now it's more of a wave. Back then it was more of a, people didn't understand it as much as they do now.
You see a lot of younger, like even kids come in and
Oh,
eat
yeah.
because of the parents or health issues or both? Do
I
they
think
ever
it's a
talk to you about their own
combination.
stories?
Yeah, we talk to a lot of our customers, because we're one of those restaurants that really help people out. Like, I'm a big foodie, and so is Lena, my business partner. Like, we love to go to dinner, and I'm always like, oh my God, like, that's not the right knife. And what do you, like, we go crazy a little bit. It's annoying to go to eat with us. But when people come in, we notice that most restaurants, they aren't like, they're not very helpful. Most places don't want to help. They're just doing their job and they're getting it done. And what we realize is that we're probably overly helpful. So if you come in and you can't eat something, I'll come and sit with you at the table and I'll be like, listen, Vin, what's going on? I want to help you. What can we make you? And I'll make you something just for you. So that's what's very unique and different about the restaurant. Like, if you go to most restaurants, they're not going to do that at all. Not even close.
They're checking a box, right? Like,
Correct.
they're like, we have a vegetarian option, we have a have a gluten
Primavera.
option, and that's,
You get pasta primavera. That's it. Yeah.
And I always laugh. I go, how are Italian restaurants cooking gluten free when it's right next to all the other bread and dough and flour?
Well, that's hard. That's hard. I mean, we do have a lot of customers that are celiac, and we take pride in what we do. Like, we're fanatics when it comes to cross-contamination and in the kitchen, but we're not a gluten-free kitchen. It would be very hard to be. Yeah. So most places that do have gluten-free options, I mean, I hope and pray that they do the best that they can too to make sure that they're doing the right thing. But I think that we really go over and above to try to make people happy and want to come back and feel safe. Like, our customers, we've talked to many people and they're like, you know what, guys, we actually feel good coming there after we eat. So that's why we come back. We know that we're not going to get sick, or our bellies aren't going to be distended, whatever the case may be.
In your kitchen, do they eat vegetarian, vegan, or mix?
Not really.
Are they as passionate as you and
You
Lena?
have to be passionate. Yeah. I mean, Lena and I are real, like, I hate the word sticklers, but we're really big on an energy coming into the restaurant, not only in the kitchen, but in the front too. And people laugh at us all the time. Like, Lena, she's worked for very big companies throughout her lifetime, managing and vice presidents and all this stuff. Like, she's very successful.
In the food space?
No, in retail.
Okay.
She's done retail for many years. She came on with me, years ago, because I asked her to partner with me. So when we bring people into our space, it's very funny. So she'll interview them. And she's like, okay, tell me about yourself. And she's like, what's going on? And how long did you work here? Tell me about your favorite restaurant. Those are her questions. And I sit down and I'm like, do you like your parents? Do you have any pets? And everybody's like, what? I'm like, it's very important, because I need to know your person, your soul, your heart. Because that restaurant, that food that we make, if it's not coming from your soul, you can't being there, honestly. So it takes us a long time to find staff. You know, we don't, like you said, we don't just check off the boxes. That's not the way that we do it. Like, we really, truly have to like you as a human being in order to invite you into our home, you know? So it's, yeah.
I would imagine your staff stays when you find that person.
Oh my God. Helvi has been in the kitchen with me since day one. She is my right arm, my left arm, my leg. She's everything. She's been my rock for many, many, many years. We have Sweetie. We call him Sweetie. His name is Amalchel. He's been with us since day one. Most of my kitchen's been there for about 12 to 15 years, some more. My front staff, we have a bunch of us, at least 12, 13, 14 years. So they're our family. It's not just we're saying like it's a family. Like, it's our family.
Right. That's... Yeah. You know, you hear often that there's a few individuals that have been around a long time, and even going back to Martin, I think he mentioned that there was a few folks that would with he and Lori for a long time, but definitely nice to hear, and obviously treating people well for them to stick around, and they're that passionate about the food to bring the experience.
You have to. But the way that I look at it when it comes to my staff, my family, and Lena feels the same way, I know for sure. You're seeing these people way more than you see anybody in your life. You're with them day in and day out. Like, we're at that restaurant all day with each other. We have to like each other. We have to love each other. We have to respect one another and take care of each other. It's not just a business. It's not just you're making a check. Like, I tell people all the time when I interview them, I go, listen, I said, if you're just here to make money, I go, there's 9 million other restaurants just on this one block. I go get another job. I said, this is truly going to become a huge part of your world, not only as learning experiences in your life, because I know we have a lot to teach. It's not only about food and cooking, it's about you becoming the best version of yourself that you can be. I go, that's really what the restaurant is about. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's different.
Nice.
Any thought of expanding to new areas? You talk about, you know, Bayshore being somewhat of a conglomerate now of a town, of, you know, maybe trying to go to a new area that you think's up and coming and kind of embed yourself there to kind of start that process all over again.
You know, we've looked at probably hundreds of spaces in the past, 12 years that Lena and I have been partners. And we found some spots that we really, truly love, but honestly, and we kind of laugh at each other. Lena is the energy that she's like, bring it. I can open up 20 of these. I'm good. And I'm the energy of like, no, I need to be there all day. I need to make sure that everything is good. I need to make sure you're good. You have access to me at all times. So we're very different in that way. And I think that's why we haven't expanded. Because I feel, and we've talked to so many people, they're like, oh, why aren't you coming to Massapequa? Why aren't you coming to Northport? Why aren't you coming to the Hamptons? Why aren't you? You would do great. And I know we would. Like, we're so different. I know we would. It's just, I personally don't know how to spread myself like that. So, I mean, I never say never. And I'm always open to doing different things. I get excited about growth and about learning new things. And like the juice bar, like I had never done that. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, let's just do it. And I figured it out. You know, it took like 9 million times of drinking the same green juice that people were going to throw it at me. But I finally got the recipe down, and that's how you learn. So to answer that question in a big way, yeah, I would, yeah, we're gonna say, we'll see.
That's
definitely
exciting though. What you mentioned like hiring people during COVID was super tough. Like how what does the business look like today versus pre-COVID? It's the same.
It's the same. Yeah, it's weird.
Is takeout a bigger portion of your business now? Because you mentioned that, you know, that was something that you had to just kind of learn on the fly of, you know, you probably didn't have the packaging and the containers to kind of figure that out. But how is takeout look like in the business today? What proportion of business would you say is takeout? I
think the way that people eat now is very different than the way that they used to eat. I think that, you know, when we were growing up, it was exciting to go out to dinner. Like you look forward to going out to dinner, and it was something to do. Now, I feel it's taken it for granted because people go out to dinner all the time now. So that excitement is missing. And when it comes to Tula, I love when people get excited. Like we have new customers coming in every day and they're like, oh my God, that was so good. You know, we go out to dinner, we spend $50, $100, whatever the case may be. And it was just like, we ate. But when they come to Tula, they're like, oh my God, like you could taste the flavors. That was really good. That's what it's all about. Not only about the energy in the restaurant, it's about feeling it and the atmosphere and the customer base and your staff. It's a package. So when it comes to takeout, I think this newer generation, they do that a lot more than I or we have ever done. So we had to really start to think about, like, what does that look like for us? So we're on DoorDash now, whereas before Lena was like, no, we're not doing that. And I agreed. I was like, I don't want to do that either. But we almost felt like we had to now, almost in a way to keep up with everybody. Sure. So in doing that, yes, we are doing a lot more takeout now. Since COVID, we're doing a lot more takeout now. But it's still different because the food that we create is supposed to be experienced in the restaurant. It's like a different, I can't explain it. I'm sure it's good when you go home and you eat it, but I feel like it always tastes different when you eat it there.
Yeah, we definitely hear challenges of certain cuisines not traveling well.
Correct.
So, you know, some are afraid to put it out because then, I guess,
if that's
another
your first
topic.
time experiencing Tula's,
right?
It's not the experience that you've really set forth.
It's great, and it's a great option for people that have eaten there, or even if you haven't eaten there, because it's still really good. But for me, I would much rather people come in and feel that whole experience because it's night and day. It's a cool place. You know, it's very different.
But you have like a unique, I guess, caveat with that because I think people are very conscious of the way that they eat now, right? So in that particular area, like you said, you're a very unique establishment. So people that want to continue to eat healthy throughout the week or have certain dietary needs, it gives them a much easier option than saying, hey, let me just pick something up quick, go up to my apartment or go to my house, rather than their other options for delivery or takeout are non-existent. Really.
No, it's true. It's very true. And I think when it comes to us, like, we're very cautious as to the ingredients that we put into the food. So like I was saying before, we spend more for quality ingredients. So when you're thinking about a dish, it's not like we're just like throwing butter in there and throwing milk and cream. And we don't cook like that. Like we let the actual ingredients shine. So that's very important. And I think today with what you're saying, the way that people are taking care of themselves in a better kind of a fashion, we're right there, you know? So we have a little mixture. We have the juice bar, which is a little less expensive, I would say, and you could do takeout and all that stuff. You could come in, grab a smoothie, grab a juice, grab breakfast or lunch, which is really cool. Like we have like a stuffed avocado that is like out of this world, and people are like, oh my God, that's really, 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 really good. So you can grab that for like $15 and have a huge meal. Tula on the other side is more of a dining experience. So that's a sit down, and that may be a little bit more expensive, but you're getting so much from that experience. So I think the juice bar in Tula has such a nice balance of everything, and then it's all encapsulated with health. So that's kind of how you wrap it up. Nice package.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is like how you started. You're talking about your father and your mother, and that's how many years ago is what she kind of pulled the reins back of traditional medicine.
It was 40 years ago.
40 years ago, where today it seems with Instagram feeds and TikTok, there's so much of that now of like this alternative medicine of, you know, what's your viewpoint on that? Do you have a lot of customers coming in that are just, you know, wanting to go that route first?
I think people are still scared and still nervous because Western medicine is very powerful. And I think it scares a lot of people.
Sorry, there's a black alley out there.
Yes.
That we have to move. I can move it for you, put it in one of the spots. But it's on the trailer.
That's totally
Yeah, that's all right.
That's totally
I
fine.
apologize very much.
That's why I asked you. I was like,
She asked. I said, no,
Yeah.
no, it's good.
Yeah, no worries.
can I just take a sip?
Yeah,
I'll
good.
leave your keys right outside on the.
You can go
Thanks,
for a
Jess.
little joyride if you want to.
My fault.
Yeah. I was like, Michael, can I park here?
Yeah, good job, Mike. So yeah, you were saying of just Western medicine, I guess, just
Yes.
still a lot of fear.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think if people realize that they can be in control of their health, that the world would be much different. I think that we've been instilled with fear from a lot of, whether it's doctors or going to the hospitals, things like that. And now people don't know how to take care of themselves on that level. They know how to take care of themselves going to the gym, talking to a trainer, things like that. But when it comes to realizing that you can actually heal yourself through food, people don't get that concept. So in other countries, that's all people do. It's here that we've never been taught how to do that. So when I was younger and I was watching my mom and my dad and the things that she would put in the food, like I remember we used to go to Chinatown and my mom, obviously she didn't speak the language, but she would tell them what was going on with my dad. And they would make these teas for him that were anti-inflammatory teas or cancer healing teas. And we would come home and we would brew them. And I remember that it smelled so bad. And my sister and I were like, oh my God, but it would help him. So there's so much that we don't know about that you can do to heal yourself naturally. And I think that's a big part of what Tula is. So I used to tell people all the time and they would kind of laugh at me. I'm like, listen, I don't tell you what I put in the food because it's a secret, because I don't want you to stop coming here.
Sure.
Because it's good for you. So, like a lot of our ingredients are organic. 20 years ago, I didn't tell people that we used organic ingredients because I couldn't. Now people are like, oh, are you using organic? Are you this? Are you that? And now we actually are having a hard time because it's so expensive. But back in the day, like I used a lot of organic ingredients because it wasn't a big thing. So it wasn't expensive to get. So it's all about, it's what's relative to the time. But I do believe that if people tried and asked more questions, I think that they could learn things that they've been scared or held back in learning about taking better care of themselves through food and their diet and all that stuff.
And Jackie, going back to ingredients, do you source locally as much as you can or entirely?
We can't.
Yeah.
I mean, since COVID, it's kind of hard with everything, with pricing and ingredients. We definitely try to source as much local stuff as we can. I'm constantly on the phones and making calls and find new purveyors. And, I really, with the help of everybody in the kitchen, we try to do our best. But prices are crazy now. It's really hard. And I give credit to every restaurant out there. We got hit very hard after COVID. We really, really did. And I know a lot of people that had to close. And I'm super grateful that we're still here. And I feel blessed because we're here for a reason bigger than the restaurant,
Sure.
Yeah.
I saw on the menu, do you use bare naked for bread?
Yeah, we use them for bread.
Bridget's a client of ours. So,
nice.
So nice commonality.
Yeah, there's a few people that we're newer with them.
Okay.
Probably the past few years, but yeah, we have a lot of people that we've been connected to. We're very loyal. Like once we love you, and we stick with our people for a really, really long time.
Nice to hear.
Yeah, it's important, I think.
How has technology, I guess, over the last, since COVID specifically, helped you run your business? Do you utilize through your POS system or any other? I know you mentioned earlier.
Call Lena.
I call Lena, exactly. I'm terrible at it. So even it's the funniest thing. Christmas time, I always say to Lena, I'm like, I think we should go Christmas Eve and sit in the restaurant and sell gift cards. That's always my thing. And she's like, seriously, Jack, I have a million things to do. I'm like, I'm going to go. And she's like, all right. So I don't know how to use the computer still. It's 20 years. I think it's something subconscious that I refuse because I'm not like stupid. But when it comes to the computer, I'm like, no, I don't want to know about it. So I'm like, all right, I have a gift card. How do I ring it up? It's every single time. I'm like, guys, how do I ring up a gift card? They're like, seriously, Jack? So when it comes to technology, it's not my cup of tea, but... And Michael and I were discussing this, like we're so old school. I'm surprised we even allowed ourselves to get computers because if it was up to me, we'd be handwriting everything still. And I have 9 million black and white marble notebooks in my office and everybody makes fun of me because that's how I keep track of everything. I'm very organized. But the computer... But Lena, she's kind of in the middle somewhere. So like we were talking about like being on Open Table and things like that. Like for us, it's very important to talk to our customers and try to get them in and squeeze them in any way we can. I don't want somebody to go on Open Table and be like, oh, there's no 7:15 reservation. We're just not going to go. Like I'll make it work. I'll figure it out so we can get you in. So yeah, technology's different, definitely.
Yeah, it's good and bad in the same way.
Yeah. It's a little funny because then I talk to other people in restaurants, like we'll have couples come in and they're both on their phone and they're eating dinner and they're both on their phone. And I always go up to them and I'm like, are you guys like talking to each other on the phone while you're eating dinner? Like what's happening here?
Yeah, it's like my kids.
Yeah, like enjoy the moment, be together.
Do they feel embarrassed by that, you think? Or
I think they laugh. I don't know if some people connect, some people don't, you know?
Sometimes some may need a stark reminder of like, geez, even at the dinner table, we're both distracted.
Yeah, people are distracted in general nowadays. And don't get me wrong, I mean, sometimes I'm on the phone too if I'm having dinner or whatever, because you have to. There are things you have to get done in this time in our lives. But for the most part, you know, we have to really work hard to put the phone down and just be with each other and talk and connect, you know?
You guys, you're closed on Mondays, right?
Closed on
you closed
Mondays.
throughout the year. Any other holidays or?
Oh my God, almost every holiday. We close all the time.
Nice.
I'm always like, we're closed. The only holidays we're open are Valentine's Day because we'd be silly not to. We're kind of a romantic-y restaurant.
Yeah.
And Mother's Day, we usually do either a brunch or a dinner. Every other holiday, we're closed.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Give everybody a chance to recharge.
Closed on Friday, this Friday.
Yeah. For
4th of July.
Yes, we're closed.
Then you have to make a decision. Does it make financial sense? And not only is the staff getting a chance to catch up and you know relax themselves, but it's so expensive, right? I mean, the margins are razor thin. So you guys try to lean towards closing rather than stay open. And,
well,
I
it's
look at it
tough on
differently.
days, you know, like this particular, it's on a Friday. Like I just had a client on the way here call me and she's like, you know, I'm thinking about, I don't know if I should close on Friday.
I know.
Right? Like it's a Friday. You know, it's a holiday.
It's a hard
is it going to
day.
be busy? Is it not going to be busy?
If it
Depending on
rains, it depends.
depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you waterfront or are you inland? You know?
I think it's really important for me, like the decision that we made to close on most of the holidays is really based on, like you said, I want the staff to enjoy their lives too, because they're such a huge representation of who we are. And if they're not happy, we can't be happy, and then the food can't be happy, and it trickles down. But also, I trust enough to know that even if we are closing, we're going to figure it out, and it eventually balances out. So even though everything is very expensive and all of our bills and what it takes to run the restaurant, I mean, it's astronomical nowadays, I still trust that everything is going to be okay, no matter what. I'm never going to put money first because I don't think that that's the right way to run the business. That goes back to what you were saying about now it's a corporation and now it's just running. The simplicity of it, knowing that people just need to be happy and healthy and you know, live their life in a good way. I think really that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and you put it best as well as saying that there's so many restaurants in Bayshore now. There's so many options. I think people, you know, choose Tula's because of that. It's not just another chain or another big box store type of thing. It's that they know what the type of communication, the type of feel and the theme of the restaurant kind of shines through the people.
Yeah.
I think that's always the common thread of as we interview people, it's always, that seems to be the main.
It's the feeling you get when you are there, I think. And some of the places have that too, but it's never about only the food. It's never only about the way that it looks or your staff. It's a little bit of everything. And once you come in, you feel like the energy in the room, and I think that's what initially draws you there. Yeah. So it's different. It's cool.
Here comes the hard questions, Jackie.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding. What are some of the restaurants that you like to go, when you're not, working? And I know you mentioned you're critiquing and kind of having some fun along the way, but what are those places?
That is a hard question.
It is a hard question. Okay.
Me. Yeah. I'm very, 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 very picky. And I don't have that many that I absolutely love. I have a few that I frequent. There's a place in Oakdale that I frequent often. It's called Viva La Vida. And I like them because they're authentic and it's simple and it's simple food.
Mexican. Yeah.
It is. It's Mexican. Yeah. They've been there for many, many, many years. But I like the simplicity of it, and I think their food is really good. They do a good job. I'm on the spot right now, so I can't really think of other ones. I know that I have a couple.
Gotcha. No, that's good. And what about just in general? Like what clears your mind? Do you travel? Do you play a sport? Do you skydive?
Definitely not.
We had a guest come on and she shocked us.
Really? She said I skydive?
Meryl Zorn was like, what do you like to do?
Oh, yeah, you told me, yeah.
I love skydiving. Vin and I were like, huh? And we've known her for 15 years.
That's hysterical.
Never heard her say that once. But
no, I'm not going to shock you
what
with
do you like to do that's clears your mind when you're away from the restaurant?
Well, I have my doggie who I love so much. She's going to be 12 in a couple of weeks, and we hike a lot. I love hiking in the mountains. We're actually going away for 4th of July. We go into the mountains and with a few friends. I love anything. I love biking. I have about 6 bikes at home. Wow. I love hot yoga.
Mountain biking or
any biking.
Road bike, yeah?
Yeah, I have a 2-seater. I have a lot of different bikes. I love any sports. I've played numerous sports in my life, beach volleyball being the most recent. I played for years. I love art. I'm an artist by heart. My whole family are artists. So I build. I just stripped my whole front door this past week. So I'm always doing projects. I'm always building and making.
See, Mike, you should have called rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have helped you in a second. Yeah. Lena and I would have been over there with our jugs of water. Definitely.
Now you can't hide because I have your number. I could text you.
I'm going to be like, Vin, I'm not answering.
Podcast is over. No more.
Michael, who? Yeah, I love to keep busy and keep active. I think that's important too. It's a part of the balance in your life. Hot yoga is one of my things. I love it. Pretty much anything. I like a lot of stuff.
What do you think about electric bikes? Is that your thing?
Oh, that's lazy. That's just lazy.
I had a feeling that was coming. Yeah.
Yeah. When you see kids on an electric bike, I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'm
like, put the pedals on. What are you doing?
He's on his phone with one hand, eating on the other.
Exactly. He's got a TV set going.
It's definitely a different world from putting
it
forth
is a different world.
Effort and some old school things, if you will.
You know what though? I look at us guys, and I think that we're the lucky ones. I think the way that we were raised and the way that we grew up and what we had and having to learn things on our own and being given the flexibility and the freedom, I think we're lucky. I feel kind of bad for a lot of kids now because there's so much fear out there. Everything is always fear-based, and I consider us very lucky to have the lives that we lived.
Now we put our kids under this bubble. Like even yesterday at the beach, you try to remember back to when you were your kid's age, and
we were crazy.
Yeah, we didn't I would be out in the ocean on a boogie board for hours, and it's like my wife's like, to our 9-year-old, like, don't go too close to the water. You gotta stay in the sun.
putting
go
like
out.
sunscreen on all day,
Yeah,
all
and,
day,
you
all
know,
day.
like, we used to be out all day, and you know, our parents. I mean, I guess they were watching us. Who knows?
I don't know.
I hope they were,
honestly.
but they probably weren't.
I'll tell you a funny coincidence yesterday about, you know, kids and the generation or just the lifestyle. One of the lifeguards at Hither Hills, I met him yesterday. My brother-in-law is working there. He has 2 children, and I saw him carrying an oversized surfboard out into the water. So I kept looking. I mean, he had to be out at least 100 yards.
Okay.
So my wife comes back and she said, she's like, "Oh, is that the lifeguard? Like, are those his 2 kids?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "He's out there. They're over here." And I go, "We're in Montauk. Things are easy, you know?"
Yeah.
So here I was keeping an eye on them, but
You were watching the kids
I
for
was
him.
watching his kids, and then later in the afternoon, I see him on a bicycle riding around like on a path, and I'm like,
How old was the kids?
I was just
little.
going to ask that.
like 6 and 3.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I mean, talk about like easy going. So I was just kind of laughing, and I said again to my wife, I go, "We're in Montauk.
It's a
Life is
different
laid
world.
back over here." I go,
Yeah.
I go, "The kids are still there. Nobody took them, you know." But he definitely was a younger generation, but definitely carefree. So I was just laughing.
But that's kinda nice,
We are
too.
all over, you know, watching our kids. I guess rightfully so, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if our parents were watching us as much
Not
as
as
we
much.
or hoped. Maybe now.
We used to leave in the morning. We didn't come home till it was dark. Like we
had
didn't
no
have
cell
phones.
phones.
We didn't have anything.
No Apple
Yeah.
AirTags.
No.
You know, you
But
came
how
home
much
when you were
fun
hungry,
we had.
right?
Yeah.
And you just
Right.
knew it was close enough to an allowable
Dinner
time to
time.
be home for
Yeah.
dinner without getting in trouble.
Yeah, but it was such a freedom. It gave us this ability to take care of things differently. Like we actually know how to do things now.
Yeah, it was trial by error.
Yeah, you figure it out as you go.
Yeah, and I guess you know, going to the example of like stripping the door to restore it must be self-rewarding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You figure it out. Exactly. You ask questions. I think that's the best way to learn. I mean, I know a lot of people YouTube everything, and I haven't gotten to that place yet, but I'm like knocking on my neighbors' doors. I'm like, "Do you have any idea how to do this? Did you ever do this?" Because that's how you learn. It's all about connection. It's what we were talking about before. Everything takes a village, you know, and as simple as stripping a door. Like my neighbor was like, "Yeah, let me help you with that," and he showed me how to do things, and that's how you figure
That's
it
cool.
out.
Yeah.
It's
Do
kind
you
of cool.
have you done any mentoring to like the younger generation when it comes to food and, you know, kind of people that may have approached you and say, "Hey, I'd love to pick your brain and learn"? Has anyone come to you with?
Yeah, a lot. I've done a lot of different stuff. I actually years ago, so I was a personal chef for many years prior to opening up the restaurant. I used to teach cooking classes a lot. I used to mentor and help people to heal themselves naturally. I've worked with kids. I've worked with, you know, older people who've had diabetes, you know, heart conditions, different things, just to try to get them to a better place. Since we've had the restaurant, one of my main things has been working with animal rescues. We do a lot of that. You know, we have fundraisers often. We're constantly donating, having the staff come in, people drop off things to all the local rescues and shelters. We're constantly trying to get homes for dogs and cats, any animal, basically. Lena works a lot with women and shelters and organizations, you know, with children and things like that. We've donated tons and tons and tons of food and anything that we can do to help, we do. And I think that that's one of my biggest, you know, exciting parts of having the restaurant is that I have that ability to do that now. Whereas before, maybe I couldn't do it as much as I can now. The mentoring stuff, I love that. I will help anybody that needs help, especially if I know what I'm talking about, because I feel like I could really help people. But yeah, if anybody needs anything, we're always there for them, definitely.
You didn't take off the table that Tula could, you know, have a second location in the future, but where do you see it going? 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? is there someone inside Tula today that maybe could be the new owner someday?
I would love that. I would absolutely. That's actually, my dream, and that's what we look for on a daily basis. We look for someone that would have that passion and that excitement to want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And if that person shows up, I'd be so grateful. It hasn't happened yet. Because for me, I don't want Tula to not be there anymore.
Sure.
It helps people on so many levels, and I think it's so important. Yeah, I would love to find somebody that would love to say, Jack, I wanna be a part of this on a huge level, and yeah, let it live forever. I kind of say.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What would you do it again?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, this was awesome. This whole experience was awesome, and to be honest with you guys, I knew nothing. Like, I had $300 in the bank. I knew absolutely nothing about this business. I figured it out as I went along. Like we said, I asked people, I sat in people's kitchens and restaurants, and I learned timing of tickets and how to communicate with the front. I knew nothing. And I just had this thing inside of me that I knew that I could do this and it was going to be successful. And when I stepped into, Tula originally, and I felt it in my whole soul, and I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer. So, yeah, I signed the lease that week, and I never turned back.
What year was it that you turned
That
the lights
was
on?
2003.
Wow.
Yeah, 2003. So a lot of people in my life have, and we joke around, they're like, I don't even understand how you're successful, because it makes no sense, because I seriously didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, but coming from that, because I remember in 2002, we went to buy a business. I think it was in Patchogue, and that
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. And I remember going into those areas, and I think even more so now, it's a testament to your success of 2002, 2003. That area was
It was scary.
Pretty
it
rough.
was way
Yeah, it was
different than it
scary.
looks now. That area. So
Yeah, but you could feel the energy in the
Yeah.
town. It was like waiting for
it was like
somebody
Brooklyn.
to
I
believe
feel like
in
it's
it.
like
Yeah.
Brooklyn-esque, where
Yeah,
now it's like the best restaurants in New York are all in Brooklyn. Where you're
it's
like,
very true.
out of nowhere. Right?
I love Brooklyn. It's where I'm from. Yeah.
And where'd you grow up? I guess where.
Well, I was born in Brooklyn. My sister and I were born in Brooklyn, and we mostly grew up in West Islip. So we went from Brooklyn, which was super diverse, to West Islip, which you're like, oh gosh. And we grew up there, and I was like, oof, I need a little more diversity. So that's when Bayshore kind of showed up, and I knew I found my home, the second I walked there. So now I'm in a transitional period. I live in Islip. I've lived there for a long time, but I feel like there's something else. Like I'm supposed to be in another country. I don't know what it is. I haven't found it yet, but I'll still always have my home here, and I'll always have Tula here, but maybe be someplace else also, kind of figure it out.
Your sister, she in the food space too?
No, I wish she was.
Yeah?
She's so awesome.
What does she do?
She is a retired teacher.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, she was a special ed teacher. She's so cool and so awesome. Yeah, but she hasn't taught in a while. But I tell her all the time I would love to do something with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think she will.
Does she live in Long Island?
Yeah, she's in Northport.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys aren't that far from each other.
Nah, my mom is local too. She's in Blue Point.
Okay.
And she would want to be in the restaurant every second of her life. I'm always like, Ma,
There's the door.
I love her there, but sometimes I'm like, Ma. So
You can open up one of those restaurants like the movie. What was it? Nona's. Did you watch that
Oh
on
yeah,
Netflix?
I think the movie didn't depict it exactly the way that it is.
Oh,
But
really?
I
You've been
think-
there?
No, but I've heard a lot
of
about
stories.
it. Yeah, I think the place itself is so cool and magical. I think the movie, you didn't get that feeling behind it. I think it's a lot more
I
than what you
think
see.
From what I read is they bring, I don't want to say grandmas in from like all over
They
the
do.
world. So it's not just Italian, it's all different types
Yeah,
of
different
food
cultures
and
and-
cultures, which I guess that was part of the where they may have concentrated exclusively
Yeah.
on that part. But
That's kind of like what Tula is also. Like, we have food from all over the world. We do different cultures all the time. Helvi is from Lebanon, my lady in the kitchen that's been with me since day one. So we've kind of mastered a way of bringing food together to make it healthy, because a lot of food starts out unhealthy. And with my background and my knowledge, I have transformed dishes to make them be a certain way, but taste the way that you would know them to taste. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting to have that as our base. That's really who we are, you know.
Awesome. Jackie, any plans this summer? Travel, some time off?
It feels like summer's over.
I know.
Like,
I don't even want
we
to
were
talk
saying
about it.
that
But
this morning. I go, it's July 1st.
I
tomorrow.
know, it's weird.
June wasn't one to.
We didn't have a June.
No.
We,
My rain.
my wife's a school teacher, so her last day was Friday, and she could claw my eyes out because I say the same thing every single year. Summer's over. You know, and meanwhile, it's her last day.
yeah, she's like, shut up.
I'll kill you right here. But you know, that's what it feels like. That it goes
Yeah.
so fast. So obviously, nobody wants to rush it along. But wasn't sure if you might be traveling at all or.
Probably after the summer. It's hard to travel during the summer
Yeah.
because the restaurant is very busy.
Yeah.
You know, this is we're not a seasonal restaurant. We kind of just flow through
Pretty steady throughout.
Yeah, but summer is the busier time for us because we're right by Fire Island, and it's kind of like Fire Island food is interesting. So a lot of people come back to the mainland, have dinner, and then they go back to Fire Island.
Interesting.
That's also another cool thing that we just started doing. We're doing deliveries to the ferries, so that people there don't have to come back to the mainland. They can order our food and we drop it off.
So you
to
send
the
it
ferries.
on the ferry?
Yeah,
And
we
they bring
send
it
on-
over.
Yeah, we have a
Interesting.
minimum order, and we drop it off at the ferry, and they just go and pick it up once the ferry comes over.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing that for years, but now we're trying to get more into that.
Who's delivering the food from the restaurant to the ferry? Your staff or you?
Yeah.
Got it. We're looking at you.
Yeah.
With Uber Eats.
Got it.
Yeah, on my own Uber Eats. Yeah, I mean, if I can't do it, then the staff
Yeah,
will do
yeah.
it. We're literally down the road
But there's
from the
that.
ferry.
There's that much of a demand to warrant it.
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool.
think because they're out there, you're very sheltered, and you really are limited as to what you can eat, and
And
like
it's
we
not
talked about.
fried or.
And who's accepting it at the ferry? This is fascinating.
Well, I drop it off to the people that work at the ferry,
Yeah.
and they load it on the ferry. The ferry goes over. It sits with all the other stuff there. So it may be like people ordered wood from Home Depot,
Sure.
whatever the case may be. It sits there in its own little section. And then if you ordered the food, you would just
I'm
meet
waiting
at
at
the
the ferry,
ferry,
yeah.
and then they call your name. I have all the names and everything written
So
down.
you don't go on the ferry.
No, I don't have to do all
Interesting.
that.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, it's kind of simple.
Yeah.
And then
Do you do
people
any
just-
type of catering? Is it catered?
Oh,
Is it
yeah,
all
we
trays
cater all
and
the
stuff
time.
like that?
We've had numerous weddings at the restaurant, outside of the restaurant, people's homes. We've catered. We are a full blown like catering extravaganza, whatever you want to call it. You know, we've gotten tents and tables and silverware and plates. We do service. We do all that stuff. We do a lot of external catering. Like if you're having a party or you're having a dinner party and you don't feel like cooking, I need food for 10 people. What should I do? I'll help them make the menu. And we're very specific and personalized. Like that's something that I think is great about us, is that we're so personal with everybody that it's like we're your own little kind of whatever it is you need, we help
Concierge.
you. Yeah, we really help you. So I love doing catering. For me, I think that's one of the things in the future I would like to get into more.
More catering.
Yeah, is doing catering, because it's for me, it's so exciting, and it's a different form of getting the food out there.
Yeah. I could even see you like tying in event planning, like
Oh,
that
yeah.
event with your catering, just because you were saying like you want to see everything and make sure everyone's good.
Yeah.
Do you care about what the knives and the forks look like? Then?
Oh, like a cuckoo bird. I'm like, that's a different fork. Change the fork.
I think there's still people out there that can appreciate that.
I think so. I hope so.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not lost completely
No.
in this society where everything is
Changing.
Googled or
Yeah.
AI or ChatGPT. It's certainly is serving a place,
Purpose,
but
yeah.
it's nice to hear some of the old school ways are still working.
Oh yeah, I'd have a rotary phone with me if I could. I would carry it around.
There's a payphone on the corner here. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I'm gonna go use it in 5 minutes when we're done.
Well, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you
coming
guys.
on. This was pretty awesome getting to learn. Oh, we have a question from Crystal.
I do
Hi.
have a question. So I liked what you said before about, maybe wanting to or feeling like you're being called to another country.
Mm-hmm.
So I was curious if there's anything attractive to you about the blue zones and going and drawing some inspiration, for cuisines from those areas around the world.
Well, it's funny that you say that, and interesting. So one of my very close friends, she goes to Costa Rica often, and she's there right now. She stays for a few months, and then she travels all around. So I went down there to look at some properties in Nosara in Nicoya, which is one of the blue zones. And I absolutely love it there. I mean, I've been there numerous times, and that's one of the places that I would definitely, I would love to open up a little place down there. But also, for me, like, I love, to go to Greece and maybe open up something there, or in Spain and Italy. I'm open to the areas, but the blue zone, definitely, yeah, there's so many great spots. That's a good way to live your life.
Are you guys familiar with the blue
No.
zones?
You should watch the documentary, actually.
It's
There's
called
great on
Blue
Netflix.
Zones? Yeah.
Is it called, did you ever see the
I
documentary?
did watch it. Let me double check the name of it. There actually is a cookbook too, like following the blue zone diet. So blue zones are areas throughout the world where there's a higher population of people who have reached age 100
Yeah.
or more.
Wow.
It's really cool. In Japan, actually, there's this group of people. I think the majority of them are way over 90. And most of the areas, they do not drive. They live in these kind of communities where they have to walk everywhere and everything is uphill. And you see these people, they're like in their later 90s, early
Walking
hundreds, and they're chugging along, and they have, they're carrying a lot of stuff, and they're just out and about and living their life. And it's such a community, help each other, and they love each other, and they support each other. And that's, I think, the most intriguing part for me. Like, I love it.
It's figuring out why are they living longer? Well, why are they in better shape?
It's
What are they
because
putting
they're
into their
healing
body?
each other.
It has to be a
it's-
big part, the
Yeah,
food.
well, it's scary. You brought it up earlier, is that we just follow the
Mm-hmm.
herd here in the United States, where, I think we start to see more and more, especially over the last year or so, like, well, what's in our food? Like you
Right.
said, the cereal. It's crazy what's
Well,
in.
it's also we live alone.
And even ketchup. There's how many ingredients in, the ketchup that we buy from the supermarket.
It's
It's like 30 ingredients.
You would
Should
be
in
very
3.
surprised. Yeah, especially in restaurants. Restaurants are huge with ingredients that you wouldn't want in your food, So when it comes to what Crystal's talking about, living alone in America, most people live alone and they don't know their neighbors and they don't talk to anybody. In these communities, everybody knows each other. Everybody helps each other. Nothing is questioned because you just know that you're going to be there for one another. And I think that's it's not only the food, food's important, but it's the mindset.
It's definitely that sense of community. I just picture, like the long table in Italy. You got 50
Yeah.
to 100 people from the whole town just like lines up. But that documentary is called Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. It's on Netflix.
It's
Check
awesome.
it out. Yeah,
It's
definitely.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Most European countries eat together at night. They all make something and they have this town circle and everybody meets at the circle at a certain time and they all eat together. And that's the way they just were raised. I think that's awesome.
And we're moving further away from that now with phones and
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
yeah, exactly.
We're segregated, separated.
It's getting worse and worse.
Yeah. We
Maybe
got
we
a
should, maybe we should
kumbaya,
add a
people.
phone-in feature to the podcast.
There you go.
Like questions?
Yeah, questions.
That's kind of cool. I think that's a good idea.
Just have Crystal keep
Noted.
asking more questions.
You can disguise your
Yeah.
voice.
We have Crystal on the line.
Again?
Again? How many crystals are out there
It's on
today?
every episode.
That's hysterical. That's funny.
But yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. It's great. It's always, the idea behind Staying Hungry was to meet different restaurateurs and their stories, and there's so much commonality, but at the same time there's just so much uniqueness to
Every story.
to every single story of what got them into it, and yours was very personal. But I think at the end of the day, it's all just, it's great to hear, and dive further into the stories and learn more.
I think it's great, and I appreciate you guys for doing this. I think it's awesome.
Great. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.
All right.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thanks, guys.